All right, I'm here with someone very special. I've been trying to meet up with her, but listen, she's a champion and she does championship stuff. She travels all over. She's got a lot of awesome things going on in her life, and we're going to talk about all of her accolades and all these things. But I'm sitting here with none other than Kennedy Blades. What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
We're actually this is my home state, so I usually travel miles and miles and miles to meet up with amazing people like yourself. But so thankfully, I'm in my backyard. So you're out here for RAF, and we're gonna get into all of that. But I have a lot of questions, but I know you got a lot going on, so I'm gonna try to get to them as quick as I possibly can. But I got a little history from you here, real quick. You grew up not too far from here, right? You grew up kind of in the Chicago area.
Yes, yeah. So I'm actually from Chicago. I was born there, and I currently live in the Southwest side. So
you still live up there?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
So that's
right.
my hometown, but since I'm in college, I'm like everywhere. So yeah.
So how far is that from the Iowa campus?
Yeah, it's only a 3.5 hour drive.
Oh, that's not
Sometimes 3 hours and 15 minutes, which is very convenient, especially since we have home duels.
Yeah.
And my parents, they have work and their jobs are pretty demanding. So we have our duels on Sunday, so they come drive down, then they turn right back around and leave. Yeah, just in time for work.
That's awesome. Yeah, my son-in-law wrestles for Nebraska, and so he's we get to go up there sometimes, but that's a 10-hour trip for us. So yeah, he's the 184 pounder for Nebraska. So
nice.
it's been fun to watch, but I'll tell you what, going into Iowa is something different.
Yeah,
we were there. We went in there last year, and man, what an environment and we're going to touch on that just for a second, and then I'll get to more of it later. But is it as fun as it looks? From the stands, it looks like it's so much fun to be in that environment.
Yeah, honestly, I've witnessed both. Just watching the guys their duel, and then actually being in it. And so I was like, when you're locked in, sometimes you don't realize the environment that you're in. Like, for instance, any tournament, like let's say you're in the finals and there's like a big promotion, whatever, right? But then when you take a step back, and since it's a duel, you get to cheer on your teammates. So while I'm cheering on my teammates, I'm like, wow, this place is awesome. You know, the lights dim, you have your walkout song with the fire, and then the crowd's going crazy for like any point you get, even if it's 1 point. So that environment, it's so fun to wrestle in. And then Carver just has so much history.
Yeah.
I mean, especially recently with Caitlin Clark, like there's just so much, and it's Wrestletown.
Yeah.
And it, just the iconic black and yellow Hawkeye, just toughness. It's really awesome. So
that's cool.
It's just as awesome.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, like I said, I was on the the opponent side. And we're very much outnumbered when we're there. Yeah. But even that, it's like, I mean, gotta say, I mean, we do great things at Devaney there in Nebraska, but I gotta say, it was a little envious, sitting in there, because it was like that's their sport. It felt very much like this is what they do here.
Yeah.
And they understand it to the IQ of the crowd. Is they understand wrestling, which is super cool.
Yeah.
But before your Iowa and your, all this incredible stuff in the world, tell me a little bit about your life growing up. Who are you as a little girl? How do you get involved in this sport? Are you competitive as a youngster? Tell me that story.
Yeah, so I have a younger sister. She's only 10 months and 15 days younger, so we're very close. We're in the same grade, all that stuff, right? So, but growing up with a sister that's very close in age, we were always competitive. We had a lot of energy. And we weren't the best, like we were kind of bad kids. So, but growing up in Chicago, my parents wanted us to learn how to defend ourselves because we were not in the best neighborhood. So my dad taught us boxing, and we would obviously beat each other up, and we would go to like preschool because we were like about 4 and 5 years old, with like bruises and black eyes. So it looked really bad.
Yeah, for sure.
So my parents wanted to put us in like a sport that we can basically feed off our energy, because it was just too much. And like if one person would do something, the other person would do it, and it would just be chaos. So they introduced us to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we would train at Uflocker, and my dad would have us do a bunch of drills to be the best. I think it was mainly to burn off the energy, but we were just getting really good, and we would beat up the guys. We would win nationals. Like, it was insane. Like, we were just really good at jiu-jitsu, to the point where they would have to like combine weight classes, and we would actually compete against each other, and
Oh.
I think I would win. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember.
It's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight at Christmas. Yeah.
But yeah, and then there were certain factors. My sister would compete against this guy that she wouldn't beat, but he was also a wrestler, so that kind of caught eye to my dad. Another factor was jiu-jitsu didn't have there was no collegiate jiu-jitsu,
Yes.
so you can only take it so far. So they were just kind of thinking about our future. So my parents were like looking into sports, and they found wrestling, and they introduced us to wrestling, and we tried it out, and we liked it a lot. And I think since I was young and it was different and new, I really wanted to do the sport. So they told us to pick one because we were so invested to being the best at whatever we would do.
Right.
So if you would excel in one sport, then we can like boom, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, me and my sister, we picked wrestling, and I've been wrestling since I was 7 years old. And yeah, I've just always been competitive. I think just because where I grew up in Chicago, and then just having a sister, you know, we just always wanted to be better than each other in a good way, in the best way. We would compete even with grades, like I got a higher grade than you, or you know, I read this or finished this book faster, or stuff like that, right? So I think the huge factor of my success was just having someone so close to me, and she, without even knowing it, because she was competitive, she was actually pushing me to be a better person.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah.
Is mom and dad competitive? What I mean, how is that in your blood?
Yeah, so I mean, me and my sister are the first wrestlers in our family. But my dad is a correctional officer in the state prison.
Okay.
And in Illinois, and then my mom's a Chicago police sergeant.
Oh wow.
So they're very like tough
Yeah,
on me and my
yeah.
sister and my brother, because you know they've put, you know, kids in jail, unfortunately, because of like things that they've done on the streets. And so they were very protective and strict because they didn't want us to end up the way that they would, you know, find other kids.
Sure.
So yeah, you know, certain things with like just a simple thing like never leave your drink alone, stuff like that, right? We would get phones. My first phones when I was 12 years old, right? So just certain things like that, because you know, people that they found on the streets, we know there was a potential point that we could end up like that, just because of where we are. So yeah, they were just strict, and they want us to be the best. Though they said you need to work hard for, you know, if you want to be the best and you want to win. So that was a mindset that they instilled in us.
That's really cool. So I mean, obviously mom and dad pretty strict. They kind of, you know, made you walk the line, which kind of built that discipline in you from an early age. Your sister's competitive. Brother, is he into sports as well? Yeah,
so he wrestles and he plays football for his high school.
Okay.
Super cute, because I always like go and, you know, support him and stuff when I can. But yeah, so we just kind of all in sports. Obviously I'm a lot more like with wrestling, and my sister a lot more with wrestling. My brother's just doing both, but yeah.
That's cool. Is sister still wrestling, doing her thing as well?
Yeah, so she's still recovering from her injuries, but she's definitely planning on coming back. Super excited, because honestly the goal for us is, ever since we started wrestling, we want to be Olympic champions together. That's cool. So 2028 is a huge year for both of us.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. But now you got involved in wrestling when kind of women's wrestling wasn't really a big thing. I mean, actually, you're kind of like the trailblazer for part of that, you know. And what was that like? Were you wrestling boys? I mean, I know you moved to like Wyoming Seminary, right?
Yes.
And started wrestling there because like the first program for girls. But what was that like? Are you wrestling a lot of guys early? How was that?
Yeah. So growing up, I only wrestled with guys because, like you said, I think there was like only another girl in the entire state that was a female wrestler.
Oh wow.
So yeah, naturally I would just compete against guys, and our club was male dominated. So my sister and I, we at least had each other. I just can't imagine how hard it would be without her. Because whatever happened, I still had a partner, I still had someone to train with, stuff like that. But I mean, growing up mixing in with guys, I really had to prove that, you know, I'm here to win just as much as you guys, because you know, when you look at a female in a male dominant sport, it's like, oh, like she just doesn't want to train hard, like I don't want to be her partner, stuff like that. So I would always be the girl that like has to go to the coach and be like, I don't have a partner. And it was really embarrassing, and like it was tough, because it was, you know, I never wanted to be that person, right? I was always the last person, stuff like that. So because at one point me and my sister, I was just getting too big and she was just a little smaller, and I just needed, you know, we both needed partners that were at our weight. So Yeah, I really had to fight and show people that, like, you know, I am the best and I'm here just as much as you guys. So I would have to train even harder to beat them, not just to be there to be a partner.
Yeah.
So that actually pushed me a lot, and I would like my dad would have me and my sister go down to the basement after practice and do like 100 doubles, 100 sweeps, 100, like everything was 100, including our pull-ups and chin-ups in the morning. So we would have to work really hard. And he always told us, my parents always told us that, like, we're not gonna drive to a tournament, or we're not gonna go to a tournament just to place. It's always just to win.
Yeah.
No matter what, regardless. So no matter who was on the mat, if it was a guy, it was a girl, it was 10 pounds heavier, if I just cut weight the night before, stuff like that, we had a mission on the mat. So I mean, as I started wrestling and beating up everyone, people were like, oh shoot, this girl's like, you know, she's actually really good. So then guys wanted to be my partner and stuff like that, and it was like, okay, bet, like this is great, because now I'm starting to have a trajectory of success.
Yes.
And so then I won state, I won national, stuff like that. And then for high school, because the vision actually was 2024 Olympics, like in my eyes, because I would be old enough. In wrestling, you have to be 18 years old or older. Okay. So I would have just, which was last year, I would be, sorry, I can't do that.
No, it's a
I would be 20 years old. So it's like, okay, perfect. Because in 2020, I would be too young.
Right.
So we needed the Olympics is only freestyle, and my coach at the time, he said you have to do all of them: freestyle, Greco, folk style. You can't be at the club just to do one, because each style helps one another.
Gotcha.
So when Wyoming Seminary popped up with my parents, there was two choices. It was either Olympic Training Center, which is, they had a program there where you do school online and you would train with the senior athletes, or it was Wyoming Seminary, where it's a very prestigious college prep school.
Yes. So
you'd get your education there and train freestyle. The only thing with Wyoming Seminary is, since it would be the only high school female wrestling school in the nation, we would have to compete outside the country to get competition. So the program was still fairly new, but the second year the program was like, when they had their second year was the year me and my sister committed. Okay. So so that was an amazing choice, and I learned so much. And like I said, like I think I competed in probably like 17 different countries, like a lot. Went to Japan, Russia, Estonia.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. The only thing is, I had to learn, a huge thing was accountability, because since it was a college prep school, they were very hard academically, and then traveling outside the country for weeks, having to balance both of those was difficult. But I just learned how to stay accountable, and I think that's what helped me, like, where I'm at today, because I mean, you see in college, like, people are like messing up freshman year, and I'm like, dude, like, just
I've been there.
Like it was like a walk in the park. And so the timing, when I look at it, is always perfect, because 2024 I was a sophomore in college, and remember, freshman year, a lot of people were messing up because they didn't know, like, how to handle that freedom from leaving their parents. But since I went to Wyoming Seminary, which I was a boarder, I lived in the dorms in Pennsylvania. I didn't have my parents there. So me and my sister were on our own. So we had to learn these things like discipline, accountability. You know, I wanted to have good grades and be a good wrestler. So I had to figure out, like, okay, when do I go to 6 a.m.s, my sleep schedule, all this stuff, right? And so I learned all of that, and it helped me get to where I was in the 2024 Olympic year, because after high school, I was only 2 years out. Oh yeah. So those 2 years are very important, because I wanted to win a gold medal. So just looking back, it's insane just seeing, like, the timeline and how God's plan like worked out perfectly, because I mean, I don't know if I would have been an Olympic silver medalist. I wish I was a gold medalist, but I mean, just being an Olympian in general is still huge. So. Incredible.
Yeah. How was it socially for you? Because I mean, obviously you're very intelligent. You can tell by the way you speak. You're an incredible competitor. But socially, was it hard for you? Because you think high school, normal high school, you that's where you kind of learn to kind of fit, right?
Yeah.
how was that for you? Because you're part of this elite program of wrestlers. You're traveling all the world. Did you have that ability to kind of like plug in and be a kid?
Yeah. So in high school, the Wyoming Seminary was known for the academics, but also for the wrestling program, because the men and the women were #1 at the time. So I don't know how to say this, but I guess we were kind of like not popular, but like known.
Yeah, for sure.
And since I was like on the world level and stuff, like people were like, oh shoot, like she's like good at wrestling, you know? And I would always get along with my teachers and my classmates. So I felt like I had a community there.
Yeah.
And since I was a boarder, I lived, so the high school itself only had like 800 people, I think. Like it was very small,
right?
Because it's like difficult to get in, right?
Yes.
And we had 16 different countries there, different students there. So I actually have friends all around the world, which is really cool. But since I lived on campus, it was 150 boarders, so it would just get smaller, right?
Sure.
And so since we were all the same, like we didn't have our parents there, we were kind of on our own. We kind of got along together because we were the only people to lean on.
That makes sense.
So I was able to like build not just a friendship, but a family over there. And it was just honestly super unique and awesome. The only funny thing was like when you would go back for break, or when COVID happened, when you went back home, your friends aren't there because they're all over the country dispersed, right? Yeah. So I have people from Cali, New York, Vegas, but like we couldn't hang out because we were all home. So it was like bittersweet. And then going into college, you know, you just kind of go your separate ways. Yeah. The cool thing though about Iowa is, since Wyoming Seminary was the best high school women's program, and Iowa was the best women's college program. Like half of my team I was already teammates with them in Wyoming Seminary.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It's awesome. Yeah. Reese Armendi, Ava Bayless, my sister's there, Val Slorio, Rianne. So it's really cool to just have like go to college and already be familiar with some of the girls, because I was already with them in high school.
That's super cool. Now, back when you obviously got involved in wrestling, were you accepted pretty early? I mean, obviously, like you said, like people didn't know you at first, but when they got to know you, I'm sure they're like, oh yeah, she's cool. But how did the guys and the coaches and things like that, were they welcoming? What was the sport like coming in as a female into a male dominant sport? Yeah,
so the coaches were always great, especially because it's impressive when, like, just naturally when a girl beats a guy, right? It's like, whoa, like they're really good, right? So I already had respect from the coaches just because of that. But then the guys, I mean, kids are not the nicest, like especially when they're young.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's like they have their own opinions, they form their own groups, stuff like that. So like I said, it was very convenient that I had my sister, because no matter what, I always had a friend. I always had someone to go to. But then slowly, as like our age group, I guess, like as we would like build up and get older and stuff, like we would start to form a team and have friendship. So at first it wasn't like all sunshines and rainbows, stuff like that, because it's like, oh, she's a girl, like, and she can take me down, like I want to stay away, right? Whereas like when I'm helping them win titles, or I'm winning tournaments and it helps with team points, they're like, oh, she's actually pretty cool, like let me train with her.
That makes sense.
And then when multiple guys lose to a girl, it almost doesn't feel as bad as a guy losing to a girl, because if the girl's really good, it's like, oh yeah, like she beat me too. So it's like, you know, whatever. So it's just kind of funny just to, you know, as I grow up and stuff. But then now that I'm at this age, guys are really good, because I can't handle like the strength and speed. Like it's just such a different, it's just a different body type, right?
For sure.
So I think, just growing up, it was a little interesting, but I think I had fun with it because it really did shape me into the person I am. Like, if anyone says anything on the internet or on the street, like, it wouldn't bother me at all, because I've been through way too much when I was younger, to where it's like, it's like numb.
That makes a ton of sense. And because you're at Wyoming Seminary, but then you were out in Arizona for a bit. Actually, that's where I first like physically saw you for the first time. Like I said, my son wrestles Nebraska, so I think it was a couple years ago. We dueled ASU, and we were there, and you were there, and I was like, hey, but you're on the other side. But but so how long were you out there, and was that did you like that area? Did you like?
So I was at ASU. So right after high school, I decided to commit to ASU because the program called Sunkist Kids. They're an RTC, and so the plan for me and my sister and my other friend Savannah Cosme was we were going to attend Arizona State University, but then train with Sunkist and be on their program. And so Sunkist is only world level. So we would go to all the ranking events, Pan Ams, World Championships. Like that's our goal. Instead of collegiate, where the goal is like NCAAs.
Right.
So because when I got to high school, I realized that first I knew the vision, which was the Olympics, and I knew I wanted to still get an education because my parents instilled that education is first, no matter what.
Yes.
If you guys have bad grades, no wrestling. So me and my sister are always like A's, like trying to get the best grades, right? So we knew we wanted education for sure. And then I wanted to go to a place that I believed I could win the Olympics, right? And I thought like, okay, if I train with the senior athletes, the best in the nation, I'll go there. And Sunkist had a ridiculous decorated group, multiple world medalists, world champions, Olympic champions. Helen Maroulis, like huge woman I looked up to, and she's also my friend. So I've just built so many friendships there. But I loved it so much. They were great. And then unfortunately, after my second year there, the program announced that they were shutting down. So they would still help us through the Olympics because after I made the Olympic team, they were still going to support me no matter what. So I told Art Matori that, so basically in the Olympics, each weight class has its own day, and each gender, I guess, or each style has its own, has its own day, right? So basically I was the last day of the entire Olympic Games.
Oh, wow.
So I told Art Matori, who owns Sunkist, I said, I can't wait to bring the last Olympic medal to Sunkist.
Oh, that's cool.
Because then after that, there would be no more.
Yeah.
And luckily, I was able to bring back a silver medal. So it's kind of poetic. It was really cool how, in the beginning, the first time I ever signed with them was when I was 17 in the 2020 Olympic trials. Because when COVID hit, they had to postpone to 2021. And since I was turning 18 that year, I was actually eligible.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a unique thing that happened. Because at first I was 17, there was no way. But since it was 2021, I was turning 18 that year, I had the chance, right?
Oh, okay.
But I didn't have any sponsorships or anything to help me. And so they believed in me, Sunkist, and then they took me in.
Okay.
So from the age of 17 to till 2020, so 2021 to 2024, they supported me. And it was amazing.
Cool.
Everything that they did was great. And I built so many friendships and just super grateful for them. But after that, I had to find a place that I believe that, okay, look, what's the next goal is 2028, LA. And I already knew Iowa was the place. So yeah.
Who believed in you early? Mom and dad, I'm sure, brother, sister, anybody else stand out that believed in you early that helped you kind of like propel you into that?
Yeah, so my very first coach, actually, his name was Coach Bill, and we were with him for about, I can't remember, I think around 2 years, and he really helped us with our technique and stuff, right? And he thought me and my sister were amazing. And then when we moved, we went to Coach Jose, which is Coach Izzy's dad, and we were with him that's where I learned pretty much everything I know.
Okay.
And he truly believed in me, and he knew that he would just always make fun of the guys for losing to girls. It's so funny. But he was the one that helped me when my first kids boys state, Tulsa National, stuff like that. So it was Coach Jose and Coach Nate, and the club was called Martinez Fox Valley Elite. Okay. And so Coach Jose is Coach Izzy's dad, and Coach Nate is Coach Izzy's brother.
Oh, wow.
So then when I was in 7th grade, I needed more partners because as I was getting older, I needed just like a little more strength, stuff like that. So I went to Izzy Style, which because I knew that Coach Izzy and Coach Nate and Coach Jose Martinez are probably a lot like Izzy Style because they're related, right? So I would train at Martinez, and then I would also go to Izzy Style with Coach Izzy and train there. So in 7th grade to 8th grade, I was in 2 clubs technically. But I wrestled for Coach Jose because I wanted to be with him until my career ended. In kids' career, basically. Sure. And then when I got to high school, I decided Coach Izzy was going to be my personal coach at Izzy Style. So because Coach Izzy only really focused on the kids level, and then Coach Izzy's more high school and collegiate guys. Okay. So I think I just want to give the most thanks to Coach Jose because he literally I didn't realize how important technique was. And it makes sense. It's like he always says, how do you just want to go wrestle? You don't even know how to wrestle, right? It's like certain positions, you just stop wrestling and you just spaz out.
Yeah.
But he always had us drill. There was a point where that was a whole practice, an hour and a half. And when you're a kid, you just want to wrestle. You just want to show off, you know, right? So then in the middle of season, it would be an hour of drilling and then half an hour of live.
Okay.
And when it was live, everyone was going at it. I mean, there was like bloody noses all the time. Someone was hurt, but like they would never complain. No one ever complained because it was so elite in that place that you had to wrestle for your own spot. Wow. Because for duels and stuff like that, right? Or when you go to state championships, because there were so many elite partners, everyone wanted to be in that club, but only one person can represent.
Yeah.
So it was an intense club. And then towards the end of the year, it was only 30 minutes of drills, and we had to know the drills like textbook, like, because we would only have about 1 minute to do each drill, or 30 seconds. It was quick. You had to do drill, and then move on. And if you were behind, like, that's on you. Yeah, pretty much.
For sure.
So then towards the end of the season, it was live, and then it was state time, and then it was like, you know, we always won because it was almost like, it's like he did on purpose. He would hold us back. We would do so much technique. He would hold us back so that on the weekends, it was like unleashing a beast, right? Because we wanted to wrestle so bad, but we weren't allowed to. He was very strict about that. We had to do our technique and then leave, or our conditioning and then leave. So I think that was super unique. And then as I grow up and I see like wrestling dads or coaches, and they're just always like, okay, time for live. I'm like, they don't even know how to do a shot the right way, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's the person I would give like the most thanks as growing up. That's Coach
cool.
Jose. Yeah.
That's cool. Thinking about that, what makes you good and tough? I mean, because I don't think of you're not just good, you're tough, you're durable. Is it because of the background you have? Is it the technique that you've put so much time into? Or the physicality? What is it? Because we're a bunch of young girls, young men watching this. And I want them to kind of hear from you what makes you tough. Maybe they can find something in themselves.
Yeah, I think what separates me from wrestling in general is the fact that I'm pretty unorthodox.
Unorthodox. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to have so people can have their best move, right?
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe mine's a double leg, sweep single, snap down, stuff like that, right? I can't really name my best move because I have so many.
Right.
So I think the problem with some wrestlers is they only do one thing and that's it. But you should have a shot on one side, on the other side, and then maybe a good snap down, maybe a good throw if you're losing, stuff like that, right? So I think that's what makes me a little more unique is because I can shoot from any angle in any position, and no matter what, I can score. Yeah. Because if you can't score and you just give up, or your only defense, like the best defense is offense. Right. So like when it's time for me to be defensive, like let's say we have 30 seconds left and I'm up by 2 points, sometimes I shoot because if I can get to the legs and like, or just hold on or finish and stuff, like that's still technically defense. Yep. So I think that's what kind of makes me unique, is just being able to have so much in my arsenal. And I think people need to learn to open up and see like, okay, I know it sucks, like it's hard to hit that high crotch, but like let's keep practicing, because there's a thing called like second nature, like your body just starts doing it on its own, right? I swear when I step on the mat, I don't really think, I just let my body flow, but I'm super zoned in to what they're doing, but I let my body do what it needs to do, if that makes sense. So for sure. I think just being offense and having such a unique style with a bunch of technique is my big thing.
Now I know that's on the physical side. Mentally, how are you so durable and tough in that sense? Is there something you think about? Is there some motivation that you pull from? I know you're big in your faith. You know, what is it that makes you tick in that way?
So first, before I step on the mat, I always pray to God, because like I just know the Lord has a plan for me, right? So no matter what we want to do to derail that plan, especially if we truly believe in Jesus, his plan is going to fulfill no matter what. And the thing about having faith in Christ is we can't think it's just going to be an easy road, right? There's obviously trials and tribulations to shape us. So if something goes wrong, it's because the Lord is using us to shape us in the sense of something else that's going to be better. So when I have these losses and I'm just like, no way. Like, okay, so for this example, the Olympics, I really thought, like in my heart, truly thought I was gonna win, right? I work so hard. I do everything. I do as much as possible to be the best wrestler.
Yes.
And the best person, like daughter, sister, a child of God, stuff like that, right? So I was like, okay, like this is in the bag, right? But then when I lost, I had to reflect and see like, okay, clearly my plan didn't align with God's plan, right? And it's the best thing about wrestling is you can, so much stuff happens that it's almost like you're humbled all the time.
Yep.
So like if you get hurt, you know, you can't just go out there and wrestle because you're hurt. You have to sit down. If you lose, you can't just think you're the best because you just lost. Like it just kind of proves to you something, right? So I think mentally I had to really understand that no matter what happens, God's plan is perfect.
Yeah.
And like nothing will get in the way of that. So the best thing that I can do in my control is to give it all I have.
Yeah.
So when I shake my opponent's hand, I never want to walk off the mat and regret, like, I should have done this, right? Like, I was too scared to take that shot because I was scared that she was going to defend it.
Yes.
Or I saw the headlock there and I didn't hit it because I was just scared, you know? It's like, you only have 6 minutes. That's really, really short.
Yes.
Like, and it's broken up. 3 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Or in folk style, it's 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, right? So you only have so much time to give it your all. So might as well give it your all.
That's good.
So I think that's my mentality. It's just like, okay, it's already written. God already knows what happens because, you know, the plan is set, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to derail. So all I can do is just give it my all. And then when I walk off the mat, I want to make sure it's like, okay, I really did try. And if I didn't get it, that's fine. What could I have done better?
Yeah.
And we don't have to like beat ourselves up in a sense of like, I suck at wrestling, I should quit. It's like, no, like, let's get off the mat and think of the positive. Like, okay, man, I got that double leg that I've been working on. She didn't get her best move. And then let's see, like, okay, let's reflect.
Yes.
Not like, don't think like, oh, like, let's see what I did bad. It's like, no, let's reflect. Like, let's see what we could do better next time.
Yeah.
And so when you switch your mindset to having a constructive, what's the word?
Criticism?
Yes, constructive criticism instead of being negative,
Yes.
then it almost makes wrestling a lot more fun.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, okay, like what's the next thing we can do?
Yes.
Okay, coach, put me through this drill and let's see if I can get this takedown this time. Like, just let's make it a little more fun and more happy because it's such a demanding sport and we put so much time into just to not succeed. But we should probably look at like this part. Let's look at the process instead of beginning to end.
Yes.
Because we always look at the end and we don't reach it. We're just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, like, dude, you made a friend today. You your mom said good job to you and you've been wanting to hear that. Just stuff like that. So I had to learn that quickly because 2024 was coming up so fast at such a young age.
Yeah.
And once I learned that, I was like, this is great. This is fun.
I love it. I love it. Now, obviously, it's not always easy. What do you do with adversity? I'm sure you've had adversity in your life. You maybe speak on something that really kind of got you down. Has doubt ever creeped in? Have you ever thought about, this is it, I'm done?
Yeah. I mean, I always bring back the Olympics because that was a hard time for me, right? So when I lost, I was actually really sad. And I usually don't get sad over wrestling too much because it's like, there's a tournament next weekend. Like I could just go there and win that, you know, like get my hopes up, right? But when you think about a tournament that's only every 4 years and you did so much, you even made like a college decision, like certain decisions, right? And then you don't reach the goal, right? It was just like hard. It was like, man, there's no way this happened. So I was really sad. I was talking to my coaches and I was just like, dude, I mean, I have to go back to college because it was in August and school started 2 weeks after the Olympics. So I was like, how am I supposed to go back and go study for like a midterm that's coming up, you know, stuff like that, when I just lost like my goal, right? And so just talking to my sports psychologist, we were just like, okay, hold up, Kennedy. Let's just go on Google for fun. Let's do some research. What is the percentage of being an Olympian?
Yeah.
And it was like 0.01, something like that, right? And I'm like, oh shoot, okay, I already did that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's go even deeper. What's the percentage of being a medalist?
Yeah.
And the percentage was smaller.
Sure.
And then I was like looking at the medal count, and it was like 42 medals or something that US brought back, and I was one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, like look at the positive. Like look at what you've done, Kennedy. Like I know I wanted that gold medal so bad, right? But then it's like, hold up, let's just reflect and have some fun with this. And it's just like crazy when you think back. So I think reflection is not talked about a lot in wrestling, because we're always wanting more. We have that want, that desire to win all the time, to the point where it's like it's almost not even fulfilling, like because you're just wanting more, right? But when we ground ourselves, and this is why I'm so huge in my faith with Jesus Christ, is because he literally humbles us. Like he grounds us to the sense of like, you are nothing without me, right? So like let's just sit down and relax, and let's reflect on the positive, on the good. And I think that like that helped me overcome adversity in the sense of the Olympic medal, because and then I think the other huge thing that I saw was, so as the season went on, people started saying like, you're my favorite wrestler, you're awesome, stuff like that, right? Which made me so happy, and like they want my autograph, and they think I'm the best wrestler in the world. But then when I look at the stats, I'm like, technically I'm not a world champ, I'm not an Olympic champ, so I'm like confused, like But then when I think about it, I'm like, wait a second, so if I were to do these camps or these signings, or someone says like, you're my favorite wrestler, right? I would always be like, oh, it's because I'm an Olympic champion. Like it's because of that. Like it's like, oh yeah, like I would want to look up to an Olympic champion too. So I would always just be like, okay, it's just that's the reason. But because I'm not, it's like, oh shoot, they actually like me because of who I am. Like they like me for me, because I'm not an Olympic champ, I'm not a world champ. So it almost like kind of was like not a good thing, but I was reflecting like, wow, okay, God, I see what you're doing. It's like, no, Kennedy, you don't have to just throw the reason why someone likes you on an accolade. No, it's because of who you are and the person that you represent to these young girls, to these young boys. And so I was just like, man, that's crazy to think about, because I promise you, I would have probably been like, oh, it's because I'm an Olympic champ. Like, that's why they want me for this camp, or, stuff like that. So it's just kind of cool to think about, like, super cool. Man, people really do like me for me, and it's not because of an accolade. Yeah,
I love that. Now, we're here for RAF 4. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me about the hype around it. What's your experience? I mean, you've already been a part of it. What's your thoughts on all this? Give me that.
No, I mean, RAF in general is just an amazing event. I mean, I've been on the top of the world, literally. I've been on the top of the collegiate, Carver, national, stuff like that, right? World championships, right? But there's just something about Real American Freestyle that, like, it's really hard to, like, even describe, because, first of all, you have the production team. Like, they think you're amazing. And it's like, wow, this is what wrestling deserves. We put so much time for 6 minutes just to be like, okay, next match, right? Or for no one to even know our personality. For no one to even get to, like, interact with us, like at the meet and greet, stuff like that, right? So what Real American Freestyle does is they almost bring these wrestlers to a pedestal that we deserve to be on.
Correct.
In the sense of people seeing like who the person that we are. We're just not wrestlers that just tie up our shoes and compete against each other, and then that's it, right? We have a personality that you might be able to relate to, or we love to take pictures, we love to do TikTok, stuff like that, right? And people don't know that, because with like USA Wrestling or UWW or just like the world level in general, it's just like, okay, next match. It's like, you're not world champ, okay, move on. Stuff like that, right? So Real American Freestyle, they like make us into athletes where it's like, yes, guys, like, meet these people, these are awesome people, let's tell the storyline. And then with the walkout song, stuff like that, we just are able to showcase like who we are. And so being in this event, the next Real American Freestyle 4, I mean, I'm just super excited because it's really close to home. So my parents are going to be here, which is very exciting. I'm still in the middle of season, but we're about to have winter break, so the timing is perfect. And then wrestling against Lara Boyd, who I actually grew up with in the sense of being on USA with Team USA when we were little girls, being at these camps, stuff like that. So it's just really cool for us to compete against each other because we've never actually competed like on a wrestling mat in a tournament.
Right.
So that's another unique thing. It's like these matches that you would never see because sometimes people just fall short, right?
Yeah.
We get to see it here. We get to make up matches where it's like, okay, let's put this person against this person. Cool. So I'm just very excited, and this is such a unique place to be.
Yeah, it's super cool. And Alara is an Indiana girl, so and you're Chicago, so it's close. But what do you feel about wrestling the hometown girl?
Yeah, I think it's awesome because like, you know, she's gonna have a lot of support, and then luckily mine's close, so I'll have support. And I've actually competed in Indiana when I was a little girl for some tournament, but I haven't been here since. So it's exciting to be here. But just going up against the hometown girl, you know, I did that my last event in Chicago, Real American Freestyle 3. It was a unique experience, so it's gonna be cool for her to feel that way too.
What is it that I mean, you hit on a little bit, but RAF is doing some things different than that some of the other groups that's tried in the past. What's given them the making them more legit in the world standard? It's, to me, the production's through the roof, but also some of the matchups are crazy. Seeing Michael Chandler out there, you was scrapping.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is? Does it feel that way as an athlete as well?
Yeah, I think just as an athlete, you know, we have to be the best to even get a chance to be on a stage, right? You can't just be some mediocre wrestler and then, you know, like wrestling in nationals, Tulsa, wrestling at NCAAs, wrestling at Worlds. You have to be the best.
Yes.
Where Real American Freestyle, these people that weren't able to make it, but they still have so much to give to the sport, they get to experience something like this.
That's cool.
So I think that is what makes it super unique, and in the sense of being able to create these storylines with the production, right? So you hear, and I've listened to some of the storylines, not even know about that person. And it's like you almost feel sympathy for them, and you're like, wow, like this is why they are who they are, right? Because of how they grew up, because of this tragedy that they went through, stuff like that. So I don't know if these other leagues were able to make storylines like that to help people connect to the audience.
That's cool.
And the best thing too is that when Real American Freestyle is played, they actually put like certain things that like what opponents have over other opponents. So let's say length versus strength or something like that, right? So it kind of gets other audiences that aren't familiar with wrestling to like, oh, okay, like let me look out for that, stuff like that. And then you see it play and it's like, wow, like let me see another match. So I think just how they're doing it in the sense of like promoting these athletes to the audience is huge because we're not just trying to grow this in wrestling. We already have flow wrestling. We already have track, stuff like that, right? We want to make this worldwide to the public. That's good. I think that's what makes it different from other places. So not just the production or the matchups, but the storylines to connect the audience to the athletes.
I love that. And that's kind of my thing. I love stories. That's why I do this podcast. I mean, it's great. I'm around a ton of great wrestlers, but the story, I want to hear why they are who they are. And that's so cool. I'm so glad that RAF gets that because I think that is the element that people love.
For sure.
Yeah. So I got some rapid fire. I know you got to get going and you got a million things to do along with cutting weight and get ready for a match, but just rapid fire real quick. Favorite wrestling move?
Suplex.
I was gonna say you got to do the logo girl. I mean,
suplex.
that's so dope. Yeah. Least favorite drill?
The stand-up drill when I was younger.
Okay. Toughest opponent you've ever faced?
Probably my Japanese girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite food? Your go-to, like if you had to get it.
Pink Starburst.
Oh snap!
I'm a candy girl, not gonna lie.
Okay, that's good. Pre-match mindset word. If you had one word.
Romans 8:31.
Love it. One word to describe you as your chapter in this career, in your career, this chapter. One word.
Honestly, exciting.
I love it. So I know, like, again, I'm a person of faith as well. It means a lot to me. So I always pray about, my guests and stuff as coming on. And we haven't had a chance to meet and stuff before, but I just ask the Lord to give me a word of encouragement. If you don't mind, I'd like to share with what God has kind of given me in my devotion this morning even. So I was praying about you, and I was just thinking about you and how you're so incredible and you did so many amazing things at such a young age. But you stand apart even from people that are your peers and people that you're younger than. You stand apart. You kind of been you've been given this unique road. And it's really cool, and I believe it's divine. I believe that, and God always usually gives me a character to kind of describe who this person is. And when I was thinking about you, God showed me Mary. And the interesting thing about it is as Christians, Catholics and Christians kind of look at Mary in a different way. I grew up. Hey, what's up, man? Oh hey. Whenever you're ready. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we'll be right there. I do not want to make that man mad.
Bro, I'll wrestle you.
You make sure.
Like,
that's
she's in here right now.
Dude.
Bro, bet.
I'm
not scared.
Yeah, I'm not messing around.
Whatever.
Yeah, we'll be there. I'm so sorry. Yeah, we're right there. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
heavyweight versus heavyweight.
Yeah, that's awesome. Actually, that's good TV. But yeah, so as we're looking at this in Mary, she was such a young girl, but God gave her something that was special that the world didn't understand. And I think that's wrestling's only a part of your story. And in what God has really given you, I think you're still pregnant with. And that the world's not going to understand the fullness of what is. You can't even understand it yet. And that God's doing something special inside you that I believe will, just like Jesus, come and change the world. And I think it's through wrestling. I think it's through who you are. I think it's through you being a mother. I think it's you being all these things. But I believe there's something inside you that only you can birth. And I think God has placed that there. And I'm just so excited that our young men and women and people even my age and beyond have someone like you that's pushing forward and doing something different, and not saying, well, it's always been done this way, I'm going to do it this way. You're making your own path. And I believe that's divine. I believe God has ordained you for it. I believe you've been called to it. And I will say that the enemy will try to confuse you and make you think that you're doing the wrong thing and you're this way, that way. But I promise you, what God has put in you will come to life. And your biggest dreams, you can't even imagine what God's going to do through you. So
yeah, thank you so much. That's honestly beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you. I thank you for who you are and what you do. I could have sat here and talked to you. I have so many questions I want to ask you, but you got a million things going on. I'm going to come out to Iowa, or I'm going to come to Chicago. We'll do a full episode.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to even think of, like, when I'm talking, I'm like, dang, that's like crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to just talk about it,
Did you know that your silver medal was the 1,000th silver medal of the United States?
Really?
You were the 1,000th.
Oh, that's so cool.
Isn't that neat?
Dang.
It's a huge deal, actually. They said it was like a big deal. And I was wondering if you knew that when I got that little piece. I was like, that is super neat. And the fact that it happened with the sun kiss the way it did, that makes it even more cool.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Kennedy, you're awesome. We love you. And have fun this weekend. Good luck. And I'll be there cheering you on.
Thank you so much.
Keep fighting for success.
Yes.